day live chat, UFC 282, Blachowicz versus Ankalaev. But you wouldn't know that if you've been following the UFC social media all week because it's Paddy Pimblett fight week. So he is the center of attention, not the fact that there will be a newly crowned heavyweight or light heavyweight champion this, well, not this weekend, tonight. Today's fight day, hence fight day live chat. You guys know how I do. Appreciate everybody that's hopped in nice and early here. This waiting screen hack is a pretty damn good thing. I mean, shout out to everybody that's been doing it for a while. I never really understood the reasoning behind it. I always just thought, hey, start the goddamn stream. You're clearly sitting there. You're clearly making us wait. Just hit the start, turn your camera on, start talking, give the info that the people want. But little do the viewers know, and again, I appreciate the early comers and everybody that's already in here. But little do you guys know, from a content creation perspective, which is apparently a villainous thing to do with everything that went on with Ariel Hawani this past week. Shout out to my guy. And talk about a soldier that's gone into enemy territory this week during this whole debacle, accepted the World MMA Awards, chilled at BetMGM. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ariel, absolute G. Anyway, little do you guys know that once you start the stream, that's when people get notifications to hop into the stream, to show the support, to have a good crop of people already in here before you start talking, so that you're not talking to nobody. You know what I mean? Like, there's been so many times where, like, the first couple minutes of a stream, I'm talking to literally nobody. And I'm sure people that watch this after the fact, they don't care, obviously, because they're watching it from the jump. But I like the live aspect of it. I like having a good crop of people in here already before I start talking, so I can get those comments start to pile up, because that's the main point of this show, is to chat to you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'll drop my plays at the beginning whenever they are free to the public, which they are, even though again, slight cashes yesterday on both events. Bellator, slight cash there. LFA, slight cash there. Not to mention a plus 375 underdog in the main event, which I broke down for you guys for free on the YouTube channel and only got like 300 views. Come on, folks. Keep your eyes peeled for those regional MMA show main event breakdowns. And you might be able to cash on a plus 375 underdog in the future again. Next weekend, not Cage Warriors, CFFC and Fury FC going down next week. So look out for those main event predictions. But if you want the full card breakdowns, which we didn't do too bad on for my first foray into LFA, those are on the Patreon. Link in the description below. We already got a shit ton of people in that regional MMA tier. Appreciate everybody that's hopping on there to support that. All right. Let me just talk about my bets real quick, or at least let me list my bets for you guys real quick. Official plays for tonight, and then I'll get into the fight day live chat. I know a lot of people that are watching this after the fact just want that information right off jump. Yeah, actually, sorry, I made I see people like hit me up, offering like sorries and stuff. But I really don't like. I was. It was more so funny to me than anything. Let me see if I can share it here. So, for anybody that's following me on Twitter, you saw that I had a. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull it up. 1 second here, folks. This was my night last night. So, for those who don't know, I went to a comedy show last night in Toronto. I saw Bert Kreischer, one of my favorite dudes to listen to podcasting wise, and afterwards, me and the wife decided that we should go have a nightcap, have a drink, um, have some food, and then we'll head home after that. And we were having some troubles in terms of finding places to eat because obviously, as you would expect, after a comedy show, everybody would be rushing to bars and all that stuff, and there wouldn't be really any places to eat. But we found this one pub that had generally good reviews, so we went into it. And then I went into it first because it looked closed down. Like that part of the street was getting or having construction done to it, and it looked like it was closed. But I just trotted on over and I went inside and I checked it out, and this is what my wife saw as I was turning back out of it. Check this out. It is very sketchy. If you can hear me, I say at the end there, it is very sketchy in there because I walked into the bar and it's a very like narrow bar. So as soon as you walk in, there's like tables already right by the door, and then you have to walk down further to get to the actual bar. But there's three guys sitting, two sitting at one table, one sitting at the table across from the little walkway in between the tables, and they're talking to each other, laughing and giggling. And then as soon as I walk in, they stop, they look directly at me, and with that look, just like, what the fuck are you doing here? Type of thing, right? And I get it, visible in the minority. Probably that's something that had to do with it. An Irish pub at, that hour or whatever. It wasn't even that late. It was like 10 o'clock, whatever it was, 9:30. And they look like they were a part of the Irish mob or some shit. You know what I mean? Irish mafia. Like they were the guys that went out there and broke people's legs. That's what they look like. And they just stopped, deadpan, looked right over at me, didn't say anything, but their faces said everything that I needed to know. I'm like, all right. So I just fucking turned back out. And that's when my wife recorded that video. I'll just quickly play it for you guys again. It's 5 seconds, but it is very sketchy. Again, all I said was it is very sketchy in there. Let's fucking go. And so my original tweet that I was going to put out said that was probably the funniest / scariest moment of the night for me that at that point. But that's me. I like to find the humor in things. Most people might have been like discouraged by that and be like, oh my God, racism, whatever the fuck. I get the situation I put myself into there after, realizing the situation. So I just fucking left. Like, I don't need to be high and mighty and be like, accept my service here. No, I'll go find another place, spend my money elsewhere. But goddamn, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. All right. I'll quickly go through my picture and then I'll get into the live chat because y'all are absolutely killing it in the live chat already. Appreciate the 40 of you guys that are already in here. All right. So the plays that I have for tonight, my official bets. I am hoping to right now I'm on a two lock of the night loss streak. I haven't hit my last 2 lock of the night plays. The last 2 were Corey Anderson, who obviously got fucked up by Vadim Nemkov over 25 minutes at Bellator 288. The last UFC event, I had a chalky parlay that went up in flames after Mark Diakese fumbled the bag. And I even went against my own rule. Like, I've been on a great run since back in end of April. Like, since then, I think I was on like a plus 50 unit run, like just absolutely murdering events, doing an amazing job. And the one thing I swore off for my lock and night plays were parlays. And it bit me in the goddamn ass. It bit me actually in the midst of that run as well when I had Kamaru Usman parlayed with something. I forgot what it was. And it was Kamaru Usman that fumbled the bag for me. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I can't do this no further. But then I saw Dos Anjos at the card last week and facing a guy like Brian Barberena. And at the end of the day, I probably should just play this chalk straight up, man. At minus 500, he looked minus 2,000 that night against Brian Barberena. But I wanted to get a better price. Hooked him up with Mark Diakese, did not pan out in my favor. So I don't mind eating chalk anymore, especially if I feel really good about it. So tonight, lock of the night play. This number is already gone. This is the benefit of being a part of the Patreon, is that you guys get the bets right away. Magomed Ankalaev, 5 units, minus 255. No brainer for me here. He is a much better fighter overall, and barring any sort of Polish power reappearing, which I don't think it will, given how disciplined Ankalaev is. And I realized that in my main tweet here that I have pinned, I actually have him. I have a typo on his name. I have it Ankalaev, not Ankalaev, but people might harp on the fact that he got dropped by Thiago Santos in round 2 of their fight, but showed the heart of a champion, came back and stuck to his game plan and went out there and pretty much swept Thiago Santos outside of the second round. So I'm expecting him to do the same thing here and possibly even finish Blachowicz when Blachowicz starts getting a little bit more desperate and he gets countered here and Magomed Ankalaev puts him up. But rather than taking a prop shot, I'm just going to go straight up minus 255, 5 units. I have some degenerate money on his KO line, which I believe is around plus 150, plus 100. I can't recall the number that I got, but that's not an official play. Official play is Ankalaev straight. Dog of the night. Not a popular one. I dropped it from my Action Network co-main event breakdown. It is the Jared Gordon 1 unit at plus 217. That number is wild. You know what I mean? Perfect example of why numbers matter or not. Fighters, obviously the fighter matters to a certain extent, but the number is the most important thing. Last night, LFA, you gave me plus 375 on a tested regional veteran who is a legitimate step up for this promising prospect, this prospect that was going out there and starching all of his opponents, but starching tomato can opponents. Alfonso Leyva, that's who I'm talking about. Starching these tomato can opponents, has one good fight, has one fight in LFA where he beats an 8-1 juiced up Roy Monkey Brazilian, and people think that's enough to say that, oh, he should go out there and beat a veteran like Chris Brown. Chris Brown teed off on this guy and knocked him out in the first round, cash of plus 375. We are betting numbers here. Paddy Pimblett is not going to look minus 250 tonight unless he starts his Jared Gordon right off the jump. It's possible. It's possible. But from a pure skill set standpoint, from a pure MMA standpoint, Jared Gordon has all the tools to look great at plus 200, plus 217, whatever number you can get right now. I love him in the spot. He's my dog of the night play. I got a handful of other bets here. Topuria minus 133 to win 1 unit there. The number has now risen over the last couple of days. I'm glad that I stayed disciplined with that line because early in the week he was minus 180. He dropped to that minus 130-ish range. That's when I pulled the trigger, and then the number went up again yesterday. So luckily that I found that sweet spot there. This fight will play out closer than that minus 160, minus 180 indicates, but I was happy to get that minus 133 that I got. I also have 2 units on Santiago Ponzinibbio at minus 180. Think he's the better fighter here than Alex Morono. As long as his durability isn't completely shot, this is going to look like target practice for Ponzinibbio, and I think he has the potential of knocking out Morono, but I'm not going to get heavily invested in the KO prop here. Edmund Shabazian, inside the distance, 1.25 units at minus 125. I do not like the minus 300 that he's currently at because he has clear cardio issues from the past. Has he fixed those? No way to find out until he actually goes out there and proves it. This was his question mark going into the Derek Brunson fight, which is why I bet Derek Brunson as a big underdog against him when this losing streak started for Edmund Shabazian. He showed off his cardio issues against Darren Stewart several fights before, and I'm like, that is sketchy. If he can't get opponents out of there early and he doesn't have a grappling advantage against them like he did against Darren Stewart, things are going to get shaky. That's what happened in the Derek Brunson fight. That's why he ended up losing that fight. So rather than tying myself to Shabazian minus 300, his best path to victory, in my opinion, and I think he will come through on this, is to win inside the distance, preferably that first or second round. I think he's the better striker, more explosive, faster. I think you'll find that chin of Dalcha and put him out here. So I got 1.25 units to win 1 unit there. Billy Quarantillo, 1 unit inside the distance at plus 155. I think he drowns Alexander Hernandez the longer that this fight goes, and then he finishes him off in that third round. I do have a sprinkle on the third round, proper round plus 1,000 as well, but I do like the inside the distance at plus 155, as I think that's likely how he beats Hernandez here. We'll see those cardio issues come to fruition once again, not to mention the fact that Hernandez had to go down an extra 10 pounds, something he's not used to since 9 years ago when he was a 21-year-old kid. So we'll see how that affects him here. And then lastly, another spot where I'm playing numbers more than anything. Stephen Kozlow, 0.31 unit shot here at plus 325. I just want to win 1 unit if it does end up cashing here. But seems to have a strong jiu-jitsu game, strong grappling game. And Simon, I cashed him as a plus 200 underdog on the Contender Series. However, again, playing numbers here, he's still young. He turns 22 in 10 days. I think he's skilled. I think he has a ton of potential, but the one part of his game that we have seen a little bit of flaws and something that could be exploited is his defensive grappling. He may have improved it since we've seen him have troubles in that realm, but I think Kozlow at plus 325, kind of knowing what his game is like, I think he's worth a little bit of a sprinkle at plus 325. The inside of me, as somebody that has done work for the managing company of Cameron Simon, I hope Simon wins this night. But It's just business, folks. I apologize, but I got to take a little bit of shot on Stephen Kozlov here to kick off the night. So all in all, where's that? 2, 4, 6, 7 bets for tonight, hoping to build on the momentum that I was able to build yesterday with Bellator and LFA. Hopefully we can come out on the green after my most horrendous event. After my most horrendous event. Who's the? We do have a chirper in here. Should I chirp back or should I let him do what it does? We'll see. But either way, I'll get to that when I get to that comment section. All right. Black M3, first guy on the chat. Appreciate the love and respect as always. Saying I just saw the video you posted on Twitter. It made me LOL. It was hilarious, wasn't it? Sigma Trillionaire saying Rosenstrike the pick. He is the pick, but I just don't trust him at this number, so I'm going to pass on it. Don't panic ours in the chat saying, yo, Locke, what's good, my man? Hope all is well with you and the family. If you had a 2-leg parlay today, what would it be? I don't think that this is the best parlay card. I'll start off with that. I don't think that this is the best parlay card. Somebody did tell me that the Boston Celtics are a good bet today. So what I did is I parlayed Ankalaev with the Boston Celtics. Again, that's an unofficial bet. Obviously, I can't track that on MMA, but if you weren't able to get Magomed Ankalaev around that minus 250 line, I like it. But in terms of this card specifically, so Ankalaev obviously, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Like, I want to say Shabazian, but I don't want to get tied to that minus 300 number. Maybe Rosas. Actually, I'd say let's go Ponzinibbio Ankalaev. Even that I feel sketchy about, man. Morono can possibly knock him out. I'll go Ankalaev and Shabazian, whatever. Ankalaev, Shabazian. I wouldn't recommend it as a constant thing to do, but be careful. Eric Fain in the chat, appreciate you stopping by. Danny Saw in the chat, appreciate you stopping by. Colstein, love to see you in here. Chris London saying, Locke, you think Topuria can win decision here? I think he can win a decision. If the durability of Bryce Mitchell holds up, I'm down. But I think Topuria knocks him out probably later on in this fight. Saint Trunks in the chat saying, just keep Ref Dan and Douglas Crosby away from tonight UFC event. Yes. I think Crosby was at the Bellator event, wasn't he? So who knows if he'll be here. Dan Goldstein in the chat saying, look, I have a big old ginger beard and a face like a disgruntled Walmart shooter. Oh my God. So far be it from me, but Rose Estronier looks like the love child of Jay Leno and Inferno. Chandy Robot, he does. Maybe even sprinkle a little bit of Rob Schneider in there. Chris London, as an overbetter, I love me some Big Dan. Yes, that is true. Take no prisoners in the chat saying, why everybody hating on Topuria? How is the eating raw eggs citing Bible verses or wearing camel shorts has anything to do with actual fighting? Well, if that is the reason why people are picking Bryce Mitchell, then you're listening to the wrong people is all I got to say. LR is saying, you didn't get on Instagram and say I was assaulted by a white supremacist. Exactly, I did. Rick the Ruler saying, I will always trust your first mind, and I would probably have gotten out of there as well. Exactly. Dan saying, my man Locke wandered into the Aryan part of town. I didn't know it was, man. I fucked up. Take no person saying Rose Jr. is ugly as fuck, but tough as nails. Yes, looks have nothing to do with it. All right, let's talk about this SND guy real quick. Who are you to act like an expert? Maybe a guy who has been all over the MMA scene, from working regional events to cornering amateur fighters to working at an MMA gym, who has managed a couple fighters, who has been around the game probably since you were still fucking jerking off to porn by yourself in the fucking bedroom alone, little kid. That's how long I've been around this fucking MMA game. Probably haven't done anything either. I just want to keep you around just so I can put you on blast a little bit there. Maybe there's a reason that I have over 6,000 YouTube subscribers, over 350 Patreon members. There you go. If you're still in the live chat, I'll happily continue to talk to you later. But yeah, fat guy who never fought, good and talking a lot only. Yeah, exactly. That's what I am. A fat guy who has lost over 30 pounds in the last couple months, who is continuing to work on it and continue to drop it. These guys, like, why do you even come here to say anything then? Like, you are having a great day coming into somebody's live stream just to talk shit. You're hilarious. Chris Galvin in the chat is saying, I think Paddy wins. He could. He has big power. Gordon obviously been finishing all of his losses. It is possible, but I don't think it's a smart bet at the line that Paddy is currently at. Paddy inside the distance, I could get behind, maybe, but I like the value we're getting here on Gordon, who has fought much tough competition. And let's not forget, Paddy has lost to guys that have been in and out of the UFC already. Let's not act like this guy's this newfound fucking best of all time coming up and all that. Like, that's not what this is. Paddy has been defeated before, as has Jared Gordon, but that's just the name of the game. That's why we play numbers. Colstein saying that liver kick was perfect. Oh, he was setting that up the entire fight. The way how you're talking about Chris Brown here against the LFA guy last night, but like the way he was switching up his kicks and he was just like bringing the kick up high and then quickly going to the body, fucking masterful. Robert Saladino, appreciate you stopping by and owning up to it, my friend. Again, it is all love here. We all have opinions. We're never always going to be right. We just try to say our sides. You said your side. I respect you for that. And now I respect you even more for coming back and saying you were wrong about Dawkins. Cash that Anders ticket myself. But hey, you might beat me on something this week. That's how the game goes, my friend. Chase Galvin saying Paddy by sub is like minus 300. No way. There's no way Paddy by sub is minus 300. He's minus 250 on the line right now. Paddy by sub is plus 200. Maybe you meant plus 300. Dan Goldstein saying the Dawkins family chin has every chance of distracting the family name 2 weeks running. Yes. Disgracing the name. That is true. Wow, you guys have been killing the live chat. I apologize. Let me just try to catch up here as quickly as I can. Chase saying I think Dawkins will get the upset. It's possible. I don't want to bet on Rosenstrike at this line, but I am going to predict him to win. Rick Lewis saying, man, this look something like a contender series card. Yeah, a lot of the early fights are just contender series guys. I think there's 4 or 5 fights that have contender series guys. I think one of them dropped off with Vinicius Salvador as well, but a lot of them. Chasing, but I also think he could get KO'd in 2 seconds. It's possible. It's not that good of a card. It's a fun card. Exactly. It's a fun card, so it's all right. Exactly. Chasing, I hope the 18-year-old wins. I love too. Cold Stein saying, love the plays. I hope they cash. I hope they cash. Dan Goldstein saying, you know the card is Sketch City when there's a fighter named Obi-Wan Shinobu the Pillow opening things up. I can't wait. I can't wait. He looks like a fun fighter. Dan saying this card is a terrible betting card. I have 15 bets. You are a savage, my friend. Robert saying so show me a full-time betting MMA profession. I am betting MMA full-time, but then again, betting MMA and content creation. I would say more so content creation, but still make some money off of betting MMA. Lonnie in the chat, appreciate you stopping by. He's saying, who's going to be the biggest upset of the card? I think it's going to be Gordon. I really think Gordon is the big upset tonight. Is there another big underdog that could pull off the upset? Odds-wise, like Kozlo or Gordon. I think those will be one of the two that ends up fucking it up. DX371 saying, don't interact with you much, but always listening on Apple Podcasts, on Instagram, YouTube. Keep up the good work, dude. Appreciate the love, my friend. You are a beast. I appreciate it, my friend. Robert Saladino saying, Jan could be the spoiler. We'll see. Sean V in the chat. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you stopping by. Chasing Bryce is going to knock him out. Wow. That crazy. Chasing that German boy is short. German? Do you mean the South African? What German kid? Dome Padding saying, LOL, my man. I'm a huge Celtics fan and already have a bet with them today. They've been on fire as of late. Already smashed Magomed at minus 260 earlier in the week. Shout out to your Patreon. My guy. I didn't pay him to say that either. Appreciate the love, my friend. DX371, I want Till to win so bad, but I don't see it happening yet. As a fan, I want to see him win as well, but I don't see it happening. either. Also, it seems like that troll didn't even stick around to hear my rebuttal to him. But continue to be a big man in the live chat, my friend. It will take you far in life. Robert saying what happened to Dawkins last week. He had got his face broke, Robert. I apologize. Chase saying he flexing. I respect that, though. Don't Patty Carter saying, talk to your bro. I love it. Exactly. I got to let him know sometimes. I got to let, anybody that has been a part of my live streams and see me talk to the live stream a lot, I don't usually pay attention to the trolls, but that guy just, yeah, it was his day. He was lucky. He finally got a response out of me. Sometimes I got to let him know. You guys want to see a video of me working behind the scenes with the UFC back in 2011? Because I can pull that up. You want to know how long I've been around the game and how many different positions I've had in the MMA industry and now get to work in the MMA industry full time? Sorry, that's just for any of the trolls that are still on. Love you guys. Chris Ham in the chat, or Chris Harm, sorry, saying for Bryce to go through with the pain of what happened with his power tools, I think the party will be a walk in the park. Ooh. For anybody that doesn't remember, Bryce Mitchell drilled a hole through his ball sack a couple years ago. We'll see. Dan saying the fact Locke took time to address and slander that sausage is so respectable. Love it. I don't do it often, but I try to. I try to avoid them. Yes, as my guy says here, don't feed the trolls. Fuck them. Yes, I had to do it once. That's like the first time in months that I've done it. Chasing is Bryce wearing the camo shorts. If he does, he is a lock for the not playing. I don't know. He probably will. Josh Frick in the chat. Nice to be able to catch you again live. Locky, miss you, my boy. Miss you too, my friend. I see you killing it as well. Keep doing the damn thing. Sean V in the chat saying, imagine trash and Lock. Hey, there was a point in time, Sean, where all you ever did was be the negative Nancy. But I think I've won your respect and admiration that you finally give me some props every now and then as well. But I appreciate the love, my friend. We got a long-standing relation or friendship, if you want to call it that. Chasing, he rolled with Gordon twice, apparently. Yeah, I heard that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Fighters get better in 4 to 5 years. So same thing that applies to Patty could apply here to Gordon too. We don't know until they lock the cage tonight. Robert saying, I'm an exercise physiologist for Goldman Sachs in New York City. Keep going, bro. Appreciate it, my friend. You are an absolute G, and I appreciate you again for coming out and showing the love as always. Corey Cook saying, big fan, luck, good luck tonight. To you as well. Appreciate the love. You are the man. Dan saying Gordon was neck deep into a fentanyl high that day. Exactly. I think he said it was 2016, sometime between 2015 and 2017 was the last time he overdosed. And now he is pure sober, pure clean, and only been training. Who knows how much better he has gotten. Again, Robert, appreciate you owning up to the yell. That's what it takes. Goatbov in the chat saying, Darren getting subbed, go all in on it. Wow. We shall see. One thing I think that a couple people are overlooking about the last time that Darren, well, I guess he got subbed by Tyron Woodley as well, which is not a great look. But when he got subbed by Derek Brunson, was it sub or TKO? I can't recall what it was. But when he got finished by Brunson, he had a torn ACL going into that fight. Like he couldn't stuff the takedowns. His movement really wasn't there. That was his issue that night. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on that fight, but it's still not enough for me to go out there and bet either side in this fight. This will be a huge telltale fight for both sides. So I'd rather just sit back and watch it as a spectator. Lucky Shaw is saying, what about Rosas Jr.? I think he wins, but like, I don't want to pay that price on it personally. Robert's saying Billy close to a lock. I like him in the spot. I just didn't pay the minus 170. I took the inside the distance, only a 1-yard shot, because like Hernandez does have his advantages in this fight. He's more athletic. He's more explosive. Probably has a shit ton of power in his hands, and Billy hard to put away. But I don't know. That's why I took the inside the distance instead, right? If we're going to get a Billy Q performance, he drowns Alexander Hernandez and finishes him late, in my opinion. We shall see. Don Panigar is saying, I normally don't take in press conferences as a factor, but when it comes to betting, but Till almost looks intimidated and never realized how big Dricus is. Again, I don't pay attention to press conferences either. I like press conferences, stare downs, all that type of stuff. It has nothing. Like, again, I'm not trying to shit on you, don't panic guys. That's not what I'm saying by this, but like I just want to bring some realization for a lot of people there, right? Like there's so many times where people try to point out weigh-ins or press conferences or something, like this is why this fighter wins the fight, but they completely discredit all of the body of work that they put into their fighting career and what they actually look like inside the cage. One that I remember, and I remember I think I had him as a lock in the night play. I'm pretty sure I did. Volkan Oezdemir against Paul Craig. The weigh-ins, everybody's like, Volkan Oezdemir looks like he's scared at the stare downs. And Paul Craig is the one that's beating his chest and all that shit. And what did Paul Craig do that night? Kept trying to fall to his back. Where was that energy? Where was that weigh-in energy on fight day? And I just chalked it up to Volkan Oezdemir having a resting pussy face. I mean, he never really looks super intimidating. He always looks scared, but that's just his resting face. Leave the man alone. But yeah, Dricus is a big dude. And again, I've said this in my breakdowns all week. Till used to benefit from being the bigger fighter in the cage when he was at welterweight. Now, in my opinion, this is the second fight that he's having at middleweight against a true middleweight. And I know that Dricus has fought at welterweight in the past, but he's bigger than Till. Even slightly, but still bigger. So is Darren Till going to be able to recapture that form that he had in the welterweight run? I don't know. We'll see. Robert Saladino saying Dricus is very confident. I agree with that. We'll see. I'm picking Dricus. I'm not sure. I just can't get behind that line yet. I just want to see if this Thailand version of Darren Till is some sort of mythical creature waiting to be unleashed. We'll find out tonight. Joseph Wheatley in the chat saying Bryce is going to show people how for real he is in this matchup. This is the matchup. This is the matchup to show it off if you're going to show it off at all. Let's see. Lucas Gattes saying, has Ontario lifted the UFC betting restrictions? No, but if you look in the description of this video, you will find the bookies that I currently use while in Ontario and the bookies that I used even before the legalization. So check those out. We both get a little bit of kickback if you use that referral link. I'm trying to help out the guys here. Well, helping out myself a little bit too. You know what I mean? SKD in the chat saying, let's ride today. You've had a sick year in the midst of some dudes getting killed. Appreciate the work as always. I haven't really been I think this is the reason I've been doing so well recently is like I've very much detached myself from being so active on social media and just and not really listening to other people's breakdowns. Like I used to do that a lot. Like I would do my breakdown, make my bet, and then listen to other people, and then maybe have some doubts. But like I've built up my confidence from just sticking to my gut, getting my breakdowns done. Sometimes even before other people get theirs out of there. But like I tune everything out. I just fucking focus, and it's been doing wonders for me. And I'm going to continue to do that. Mike Imperial in the chat saying Billy Q and Shabazian parlay. I like both inside the distance as well. Billy Q late. I have plays on both of those guys. I didn't parlay them though. I bet them inside the distance separately. So hopefully we both cash there, my friend. Ilya Kuliv in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Joe Young saying, is this a must win for Darren Till? I always forget he's only 29 years old. I think the UFC would let him go if he loses this fight. That's going to be 1-5 in his last 6. And I think that this would be a 3-fight losing streak as well. They'd probably let him go. Chasing, what about Ponzinibbio and Morono? I like Pons. I took 2 units at -180. Yeah. I like Pons. I think it's target practice for him. As long as his durability holds up here, I think he kills it. Joshua Frick saying, when are you going to join us on Narco live stream for these big cashes? Like which lives, like the videos that he does? I think I've been on his show in the past. I did Lambo Plays podcast. I love Narco. Shout out to Narco. Hasn't hit me up in a while. Then again, I haven't hit him up in a while either. But yeah, if he does like a breakdown show throughout the week, I'd love to hop on it whenever. Mike Imperial saying Simon Coastal fight doesn't go to the distance. Parlayed with Rosenstrike, like Rosenstrike by KO as well. My Philly boy is looking very bad lately. I just hate getting tied to Rosenstrike, man. Sometimes he's just low output and he doesn't give himself too many chances to win fights. Dawkins could edge this one out. I don't like the line on Rosenstrike at all. I'm just going to stay away from that fight all in all. DXJC in the chat saying, when I look at the stats, I have zero clue how Jay Perron lost against Dwight Joseph or Richie Lang. Dwight Joseph. I think that's a regional fight, right? Richie Lang. I bet on him against Richie Lang, but that's because I thought he had the grappling advantage, which he did, but I wish he employed it a little bit more than he did that night. But here I think he's going to get out grappled, personally. I don't think those fights have any bearing on how this one is going to go. A Loomis saying Rosenstrike doesn't have the killer instinct to finish Chris. That is my question mark too. I just want to stay away from that. That fight is very, very volatile, in my opinion. Mr. 9 in the chat saying the vibes I got from the MJ versus Mark fight last week. I'm getting the same feeling with Edmund and Dalcha. MJ and Dalcha both training Calculus FC. Those guys are super well rounded. I agree with Dalcha being at a great gym, but at a certain point, we can't correlate one fighter's performance from the same gym as a guy as the other guy, right? Like, again, why wasn't Maurice Green so great when he was training with John Jones? Why didn't Michael Chandler beat Dustin Poirier? Like, it's all separate. Every fight is its own variable. MJ, and I should have known this. Like, it was my complete ignorance to the full game of Michael Johnson. I was so caught up in how well Mark Diakese was doing with his grappling and how successful he was that I overlooked that Michael Johnson technically could do much better in the striking, and his takedown could be good enough that if he worked on it enough during that camp, that he could keep this upright. With Dalcha and Edmund, though, Edmund is the better striker here. I mean, it's not like Dalcha is going to be defending takedowns. Can Edmund go blow for blow with Dalcha on the feet? Maybe, but I think Edmund is a little bit faster. I think he throws in more combinations. I think he has a little bit more power as well. I don't know. Good luck if you bet on Dalcha, but I didn't tie myself to Edmund money line at all. I think the line is whack, but I took the inside the distance instead, which is, I think, his best path to victory. And if he does win inside the distance, that's how he looks minus 300 or wherever the fuck he's at. Trippy T in the chat. Love your content, brother. Just wanted to let you know. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Robert Saladino saying, are you live streaming tonight? I didn't consider it, but if I get enough love in the live chat here, I will do a live stream for the main for the pay-per-view. For the pay-per-view portion of the card, I will do a live stream. You guys let me know. If I get enough love in this live chat right now, I will do a live watch party for the fights. Yes, live watch party. I have a radio spot to do at 8:20 with my guy Jake Nowaker. Shout out to my guy Jake. Funny enough, an hour or so after me, they're gonna have Bryce Mitchell on. A couple hours before he even fights. So a good get for them in terms of getting Mitchell on the card. I'm trying to finagle my way in terms of having some sort of like some flat Earth joke in there before they get me off. Before they get me before they get me off the stream. Obviously, I won't be on with him, but yeah, I want to see if I can squeeze something in there. But yeah, if I get enough love in the live chat right now before I hop off, I will do a watch party tonight on the stream. Don't Panic is saying, I don't take in a negative sense. I like to pick at the MMA brains I follow, so I always appreciate your input. I appreciate it, man, friend. I know you've been a long-time member of the Patreon as well, so I greatly appreciate that. Mike Imperio saying, Dawkins got finished by blades. He doesn't like getting hit. If he is smart, he will wrestle and sub him. Needs to lose that fat and drop down. He's outclassed in heavyweight. So I want to cut him some slack for the Curtis Blades fight. Like, everybody's going to sweep, like, just say, oh, why are you getting knocked out by a wrestler in Curtis Blades? But, like, people overlook the fact that the intimidation of the wrestling coming from Curtis Blades opens up his striking more, which is why he was having so much success against Derek Lewis in the first round of their fight. And then when he forced the wrestling, that's when he got knocked out. With Dawkins, I think Dawkins was so worried about the takedowns coming that Blades was able to unload as much as he wanted on the feet. So I wouldn't say that Dawkins doesn't like getting hit. He knows it comes with the job, but he doesn't have to worry about the takedown threat here from Rosenstrike. And again, I'm not saying that I'm betting Dawkins, but I'm just trying to open up the minds a little bit more to make you guys, I don't want you to think that what I'm saying is gospel, but be open to hearing other perspectives and other approaches. SKT saying resting pussy face in regards to Volkan Ozdemir. Hey, just being honest. Chase saying Rosenstrike got me into MMA, so I really want to win. How the fuck did Rosenstrike, out of all people, get you into MMA? I'd love to hear that story. Lonnie's saying, I think you got a new merch idea. Don't trust the resting pussy face. What are you talking about? I trusted the resting pussy face of Volkan Uzmir against Paul Craig and it paid off. We'll see if it catches on, though. TJ Mizzy in the chat saying I'm on Bryce and a bit on Till. Let's go. Good luck to you, my friend. I have a small bet on Topuria, but I got nothing on the Till fight. We'll see. Elum is saying Blades and Derek both pressed Chris. Rosen won't. He will counter, and that's it. Yes, exactly. Well, Derek didn't press. Actually, yeah, Derek did press Dawkins. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, good point there. Detective Allen in the chat saying I just can't get past how bad Drickus' striking is. Like he never bothered to work on anything but the blitz with no head movement, even if it has been working. Sometimes some guys can get away with that, right? Drickus has gotten this far with it. Will Till's straighter, more technical strikes pay off for him? It could. That's why I want nothing to do with that fight. Robert saying, are you in Canada? Yes, sir. I am up in Toronto. Mike saying, LDO, they break legs lock. Are they good friends of yours? Do they break legs lock? Are they good friends? I'm sorry, who? You're talking about the bookies. No, they're not good friends of mine. They are legit sportsbooks that have been around for years. I promise. Chase Gavin saying, how to use free play money on Bet Online. So they don't let you use it on parlays. They don't let you use it on like big plus money odds. I think it's within a certain range, like even money up to like maybe minus 180 or something like that. I don't remember the exact odds, but when you click the bet that you want to bet on and you look in your bet slip, they'll have a little like tick on the side that says use free play money or free play balance. You click that and then you can put in how much you want to bet. If you're still having issues, slide in my DMs. I'll be happy to help you out. Thomas West in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend, saying, let the haters know. You know what it is. Money Liner Network saying, what up, Lock? Or some beanies go on it. I should. I should have done it for, I should have done it for Christmas. Goddamn. Jeez. MMA investing coming in with some heat. Man, bitch, how the hell are you? Haven't watched your videos in a minute. Have you not? You should have been, because we've been cashing outside of UFC Orlando, which I absolutely shit on. And I'm going to assume that you meant man bitch out of love, because that's a very harsh way to jump into this live stream, my friend. DXJC saying, nah, Till is still a draw for the UKN. He's Hamzat's butt buddy. The UFC ain't letting his club go to Bellator PFL. He definitely gets at least one more fight, even with an L here. I don't know, man. You might be right. But I don't know. Maybe they put him onto the March pay-per-view if he comes out relatively unscathed here and try to get that last little squeak out of it, that last little squeeze of his pull, whatever's left of it. Lucas saying, is Jay Perron a good underdog pick? Yeah, as MMA investing is saying here, there's better dogs than Perron. I agree with that. Joshy Poo saying, you are well. Appreciate the friend. Josh is saying, you're well qualified to do this, man. Pray don't even dignify people being rude to you with the response. Nah, you're right. You're right. SKD saying, I feel for the Dawkins brothers getting smoked each time out. I know, right? They both had a ton of hype. I mean, I know Kyle dropped his UFC debut on short notice to Brendan Allen, but even after that, a lot of people were very high on him. But both have been on a rough stretch. We'll see if Chris can turn it around tonight. Chasing, I'll join for the pay-per-view. Detective saying, I'm so down for the pay-per-view stream. SKD saying, do it. Mike Imperial saying, I really like Patchy Mix. Think he will beat Stotts. Like see him in UFC. Yes. Cashed on Patchy Mix last night. Didn't fall for that Russian trap. Patchy Mix, baby. Chasing, where in Ontario are you? I live here too. I'm in the greater Toronto area. SKD saying, I will 100% attend. All right. Money Liner saying, I am on the over 2.5 in the Topuria and Mitchell fight. Thought it would be more expensive. Topuria just brings violence, right? Like, I know he went to a decision with Zalal, but like, he has been uncorking bombs in the striking realm. And if he can keep this fight upright, I don't know if Mitchell can deal with that. You're getting a decent price on it, I think. Let me see what it's at now. Over 1.5 minus 220, over 2.5 minus 130. You said you're on the over 2.5. Yeah, that's not a bad price. We'll see. Jordan Hindenack Apologies if I butchered that. My friend saying Dawkins by decision have value. He throws more than Rose, and if he can avoid getting starched, it could have value. He definitely has the better shot of winning a decision, at least in my opinion. What is that line? Dawkins by decision plus 750. I wouldn't mind that. Like if you see the path, plus 750 is not bad. I personally am not so confident in it myself, but I know that fight is super fucking volatile. So good luck if you take a shot on it. I could definitely see it playing out. Mike saying Sabatello is a weak version of Colby Covington, loudmouth and loves to hug. So glad he lost last night. That moron tried to run out the ring and was locked. Yeah, that was hilarious. He went out the other way, I saw. But yeah, I had a small bet on him at plus 140. That fight went to a split decision. Like, was there value on Sabatello last night based on how close the fight was? I think so. Like there was another dog on LFA that I bet on that lost, but it was a split decision loss. I think it was a split. James Wilson against Richie Miranda. I thought I had a good spot there. I predicted the other plus 185 dog to win, which he did, Ernesto Rodriguez, but I didn't pull the trigger there. But fuck. Still cashed on LFA thanks to Mr. Chris Brown at plus 375. LR saying, bro, give me the threesome bet of the night. I will get extra chica for Arriba to make threesome with winnings at Hong Kong Gentlemen's Club in Tijuana tonight. Good time, bro. You are hilarious. Somebody asked me for a two-legger earlier in the stream, and I was having a hard time coming up with one because I think there are going to be some dogs that pull it off here. But for you, my friend, I'll go Ankalaev, Ponzinibbio, Shabazian. Or if you want to change Ponzinibbio for Quarantillo, I think that could work out as well. But I am not super confident in many parlays tonight. Robert saying it depends how Till loses. That is true. If he gets completely starched, maybe he just gets wrecked. Moneyliner saying Till may be fighting for his contract, possibly. Frank Jourdain in the chat saying, my man, what's good luck? Last pay-per-view of 2022. Hopefully the dogs don't bark as loud as last night's Bellator because I might be in trouble. Ouch. Hopefully the ones that I bet on come through. Take no prisoner saying I had thoughts, but Velasquez soured my parlay. Yeah, I can't believe she got subbed the way that she did. I was close to betting her, if I'm being honest, but I didn't pull the trigger. Good one for Carmouche and silencing the doubters. James McCullough with the D's nuts joke. I love it. Illumin saying people counting Till out are crazy. I agree. Like if you're getting a pick'em line on Duplessis, I get it. But at minus 170, minus 180, I start to get a little bit sketched out by it. White House Troll saying violence for me today. I hope so. If it's on the same fights that we're talking about. DXJC saying Patch Mix might be the greatest 135 on the planet right now. Maybe. Like, I don't want to read into the Horiguchi win too much because Horiguchi is a 125 round. We saw in that fight that size definitely mattered. But he pulled it off against Magomedov, who I even said in my breakdowns is not as good as people were making him out to be. Like the Enrique Barzola fight was a huge wake-up call for me. And I'm not trying to discredit Barzola by any means. Barzola is a solid fighter. But if Magomedov was as good as people were making him out to be, he would have done much better against Enrique Barzola. And again, he finished him in the 4th round, so he beat him. But that fight was more competitive than it should have been, in my opinion. And Patch Mix, this guy gets better every single time out, which is why that taking a shot on him there was a no-brainer. Josh Poo saying, how about Crosby judging Sabatello 50, 44, 45? I thought at best for Sabatello, he probably won 3 rounds. First round, I think the second round, possibly the 5th. I don't remember. I honestly, I watched Bellator and LFA back-to-back last night at 2 a.m. And I didn't go to sleep till like 6 a.m. this morning. So my wires are all crossed up here. Thomas West saying, love your thoughts on Gordon. I think he's very live today. I think Perrin is too. Thanks for all that you do, man. You're a true asset to the MMA community, my man. You are an absolute boss. I appreciate the love, as always. Robert saying, Patty's not elite. If that helps, that is bingo. But all this love and publicity that the UFC has been giving him this week seems like he is elite. But we shall see. JTK saying one judge gave Sabatello 50-45. Yeah, that was wild. VP Majors saying, LOL, who told you that? That's a dangerous spot against the defending champs. Even though Wiggins is out, they still at home. Can go either way. Oh, wow. You're still like way early in the chat. I heard Boston is a damn good spot this week. So I parlayed them with, not this week, tonight. So I parlayed them with Magomed Ankalaev. We'll see if it plays out. And again, from trusted cappers, there's only a select few guys that I trust for like other sports. And I trust this guy with Boston. We'll see if it plays out. DXJC saying Mix can definitely hang with anyone in the UFC. Personally, I think he could out grapple Aljo and be the champ right now if he made the jump after how he's been looking. Rick Derulo saying, yes, Patchy is a problem. I said this in my breakdown as well. The first human backpack moniker that I remember was Patchy Mix. Like, I've been following him for a while now. And I remember, calling him the human backpack. And then after that is when Aljamain Sterling came with the whole human backpack thing, or at least people started giving him that moniker. But Patchy Mix is the original human backpack. That guy is an absolute beast. Like, on the regional scene, guys, let me just pull up his record here for you guys real quick, because you guys are going to recognize some names from even earlier in his MMA career. He's 17-1 right now, only lost to Juan Archuleta in a title fight 5 fights ago. And if they run that back now, maybe he does a lot better. That was September of 2020. But he went 11-0 on the amateur scene. And then within his first 7 MMA fights, he beats Tony Gravely, who was 12-4 at the time, chokes him out in a minute and a half. He chokes out 9-3 at the time Andre Ewell halfway through the first round. And then it was the Ricky Bandejas fight that put him on the map for me. That's like, I remember researching that event, June of 2019, and knowing that he was the side in that fight. And I think Bandejas was just coming off of beating James Gallagher. So he was the favorite going into that fight. Or sorry, he beat James Gallagher. I'm talking about Ricky Bandejas. Beat James Gallagher as a plus 125 underdog. Went on to fight Juan Archuleta, which is where I bet Juan Archuleta as the lock of the night play there. It was a little bit chalky, but he came through for me. And then Ricky Bandejas was the favorite against Patchy Mix. And after running the tape, I'm like, this is an atrocity. And I bet Patchy Mix that night. That's where he originally came onto my scene. And since then, just killing it. Again, only lost to Juan Archuleta, but I think he'll be able to bounce back from that and possibly beat him in a rematch if that ever happens. Chris Gabe saying, is Krause going to jail? Rick the Ruler laughing at that. I don't know, man. I really do not know. I from the little that is out there, I feel bad for the dude. You know what I mean? Like he really got pushed into the spotlight with this betting stuff when ESPN brought him in to do the Best Bet show with Brett Okamoto on YouTube. And then he just fucking went off with it. I don't know what kind of shit is out, or like what they're trying to push against him, and things that may have been found out that the public doesn't know about yet. From somebody that I talked to, like, I don't even want to say who it is or what their profession is within the MMA industry, but somebody in the know, they're like, James is a good dude and all, but sometimes he flies a little bit closer to the sun than he does, or than he should. Maybe there's shit out there that we don't know about. So we'll find out. Frank Jourdain saying, Lock, you're going to continue the Lock on the Night Extreme Challenge next year. It's looking like a no-no. So you guys all remember that whole PayPal bullshit that I was dealing with a couple months ago. Still am dealing with it. I really hope that, a couple months removed from it and removed from receiving so many entry fees from so many different people, I have not been receiving those anymore. And I was thinking that would alleviate some of the restrictions on my account, but it still seems to be fully on there. So I don't want to bother with that anymore. I don't, it fucked me up. I don't want it to fuck even more things up. So it was a good run. I gotta say, a part of me is slightly relieved that I don't have to do it anymore after these next 2 events, because inputting everybody's bets and then updating the standings was a big time consumer for me. Like on fight day, I just want to get fucked up and enjoy myself until the fight start. But 2 hours before this fight start, 3 hours before the fight start, when the Dog of the Night Challenge was still going on too, I was sitting in my studio typing in everybody's bets because it takes me that long to update the bets and all that stuff. And it was just, at a certain point, it just got annoying, honestly. Like when it was only like 20, 30 people that were in the challenges, it was fun. Like because it was quick to do all the updates where I could do it the night of, but now I can't do it the night of anymore, the standing updates, because it just takes so goddamn long. And I'm so burnt out by the end of the night of watching these fights. So I will not be continuing the extreme challenge or any of the challenges after the last event this year. Rob Lawrence saying, hope Ontario gets their shit together for next week's card. Maybe. Rob Lawrence saying prison. That's what James is going to get. I hope not. The guy's been nothing but good to me. But Rob, in terms of the Ontario thing, bet online, Bodog. Referral links in the description below. Even if you're on Ontario, offshore books coming through for you guys. Check it out. Use the referral codes down there, folks. All right, we are coming up on the last couple minutes here of the live stream. Let me drop the totals parlay as I normally do. Not a big juicy one this time around. Just a couple that I feel like should be good enough to hit. Totals parlay, it's a 4-legger. Here we go. I'll say it twice. Brown Silva over 1.5. Hernandez Quarantillo under 2.5. Excuse me. Shabazian Lungiambula under 1.5. Ankalaev Blachowicz under 4.5. Once again, TJ Brown, Eric Silva over 1.5. Alexander Hernandez, Billy Quarantillo under 2.5. Edmund Shabazian, Dalcha Lungiambula under 1.5. Magomed Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz under 4.5. It's only a 4-legger. Not much. We shall see. All right. I feel like I got enough love on the live chat and live stream that I will likely do a live watch party for you guys for the main card. So 10 p.m. Eastern, just around 10 p.m. Eastern, I might go spark a J right around that time and then come back and just be nice and primed to watch the fights with you guys. I will be going live on my channel to watch the fights live with you guys tonight. Just a main card. I got some obligations during the prelims, but main card right back here. I'll watch the fights with you guys. Hope you guys come through. Mike Imperio saying, wish UFC the tournaments similar to Bellator have a fan vote card or something. Be sweet. One thing that I've always wanted from UFC, Bellator, PFL, I think this would be fucking crazy. Have one event where it's all one division, 12 fights, one division, but you don't have any matchups. You only announce who's going to be on the event. Everybody weighs in. Everybody does the medicals, all that bullshit. And then on fight night, they do a live draw at the beginning of the show where you put everybody's name in a hat, in a fucking whatever, like where they do the lottery balls and all that shit. Make it look nice. Put some production behind it. And make the matchups that night. The anticipation of not knowing who you're going to see fight each other, I think will be a good selling point. You might get a fantastic matchup. You might get some lopsided matchups. Who the fuck knows? From a betting perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I think, I don't know how you can make lines for that. Like, odds makers would have to make lines for every single possible matchup that could happen. But from an entertainment perspective, I think it could be pretty fun. Like, imagine the whole bantamweight division made weight, ready to go in. We'll fight anybody that weighed in on the same day as them, and we find out the next day before the fight starts. That would be sick. Maybe I'll have to sneak into Bellator, PFL's. PFL probably won't do it, but maybe sneak into Bellator's ear and be like, "Hey, this might be an option that you guys might want to consider." It'd be pretty cool. My computer is saying, or let fans vote on those 12 fighters. That too. Let them make the matchups. That's possible. I wouldn't mind that either. Robert Saladino going to be in the live chat as well. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Joe Young going to be here as well. Looking forward to seeing that. Rick the Woods, and good luck, everybody. Good stuff, Lockish, sir. My computer saying I will hop on and drink with you. What the hell? Why not? Let's go, my friend. 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. And just after that, I'll make the live stream as soon as I can, so you guys at least have the link, and then you guys can hop in here around that 10 o'clock side. Robert saying he's had the same idea. Thomas Kane saying Till in the wrong division. You think he should be back down at welterweight? He said he was killing himself to make that. Fender Jazz saying they'd never do it. Too risky for career trajectories. Would be fun though. That's the one holdup, right? I think a fighter that's like on the cusp of like either making it to the UFC or like winning a title or something like that, they probably not be down. Would be a fun thing to think about though. No. MMA locker room in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Saying let's see, Big Beard, who you for your best prop or dog? My dog of the night is going to be Jared Gordon. One of my favorite props, which I actually dropped on the Action Network MMA Prop Squad article, is Billy Q, round 3, plus 1,000. Lock it in, baby. Let's go. SKD saying, let's do a shot of Crown for the watch party. Ooh. You know what? For you, SKD, we'll kick off the watch party with a shot of Crown. So I'll wait for you to arrive in the live stream and I'll have that shot ready to go. And as soon as you get in here, tell me you're ready. I'll cheers the screen, pound back that shot of Crown, and that should start a great stream, in my opinion. Monster, N8V Monster, Native. Oh, that is, I'm such a dork. Native Monster. That's a dope name there. That was hilarious that Pat Downey got KO'd after being hyped up that much. I know, like, that's why you don't play minus 500s that are that fucking green, or you don't play minus 350, minus 400 on a 6-0 Mexican fighter who has been fighting nothing but tomato cans on the LFA regional scene, going up against a veteran who's been fighting the who's who, and even went to a split decision loss against a guy that beat Ray Cooper III in his next fight. Shout out Chris Brown. I even slid in his DMs before the fight. I'm like, yo, these guys are disrespecting you. Let me see if he got back to me, because I obviously messaged him after I caught up on the fights. Let's see here. So I messaged him originally on Thursday asking if the weigh-ins happened because I couldn't find anything about it. And then he replied saying, yeah, we weighed in. He struggled. I made it easy. I already knew they would disrespect me like always. And then I said 3 straight LFA dubs as an underdog. Let's make it 4. Good luck. And I said, oh, yeah, you stole the undefeated record of your last opponent too. Nothing you. Let's go. And then he's saying about to do the same thing tomorrow. That was the last thing I heard from him. And then I replied at 4:50 a.m. last night or this morning saying, let's fucking go, my dog. Easy fucking work. Plus 375. Let's fucking go. SKD. I hope to see you in there, my friend. Fender Jazz saying, hey, didn't they do a draw like that prior to fights on the first 2 UFCs? I don't think they did. John Panis in the chat saying, do you think Cheyenne Talidze will win next week against Corey McKenna? I do lean her. I definitely lean her. I don't know what the odds are, though. Josh Poo saying, just laid 2 units on Rosenstrike. I can't see Dawkins winning on the fight, and I don't think he will try to grapple. I think it's a solid 70% chance of a Rosenstrike KO. Good luck, my friend. I am not as confident in it, although Dawkins has said he wants to grapple in this fight. We'll see. DXJC saying minus 500. Try minus 1,600. Bellator was crazy last night with all the dogs pulling through. Yeah. Crazy. I said don't parlay Downey, parlay the under 1.5. And I wish I took a shot on Eccles. I wish it, but it is what it is. Hopefully I steered a couple people away from parlaying that minus 1,600. Thomas Kane saying Edmund, club and sub, round 2. First round is scary, though. Well, I hope he wins inside the distance. That's all that matters. Frank saying that uppercut that Downey ate was fucking insane. Yeah, that was bad. Jarcy saying bad night for wrestlers at Bellator last night. I was at the event. It was awesome watching so many dogs win. Yeah, that was crazy. All right. We're over the 1 hour mark. Appreciate everybody that stopped by. I will be back tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, just around 10 p.m. Eastern, doing a live watch party for the pay-per-view card. If you guys want to hang out with your boy, chill in the live chat, I'll be here drinking, burning, doing all that stuff. Let's do it. Josh Poo saying, I didn't know Dawkins said he wants to grapple. What was that? I think he said it during the pre-fight media stuff this week. Just type in Chris Dawkins wrestling or grappling on Google and the article will come up, but I 100% saw it. Corey Acock saying Teofimo Lopez Mago parlay. I didn't even know Lopez. I'm not a boxing guy, but it's what it is. All right. Love you guys. 10 p.m. Eastern, right back here. I'll try to create the link as soon as possible so you guys have a skeleton to get into. Hope to see you guys in here as well. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. See you guys tonight. Peace.